Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how to use the hours calculator. The hours calculator is important to figure out your current statistics, but it's also very helpful in planning your future hours for the rest of the weeks of your term of service so that that hours requirement doesn't sneak up on you. It is the hope of the Alliance that you successfully complete your term of service, and this tool will help you plan out the rest of your hours to help make sure that happens. So I will show you how to pull the numbers you need and where to put them in the calculator. So here's the calculator. It will also be found in the toolbox, Carolyn's Fellow Toolbox. And there are directions right here in case you forget. So the first step is to put your end date under the current statistics on the right. This section right here shows your current statistics. This section shows your future planning statistics, and we'll get into more of that in a little bit. But the first thing you do is put your expected end date right here. My expected end date is July 31st, so I put that there. And it already enters today's date, so that's already very helpful. So then the next step is to find the hours to date that you've served in Encore. This will be as of the latest pay period on the 15th or the end of the month. And you will put that number next to the closest previous week. And I will show you an example of that. So if we go into Encore, we can see from this person's hours that they have a total of 618 hours accumulated thus far. So that is the total number that we're looking for there. So we would go back to the hours calculator and put it in right here. Those 618 hours. The reason I put it here is this is the closest previous week to what today is. Today is the 29th, and the 26th is the closest previous week. So for example, if you serve 520 hours as of the January 15th payroll, you would put 520 by 112 because that was the closest previous date to that 115th payroll. And then the next step is to input the hours you've served every week after that, and that will allow you to stay on top of your current service hours. So in that previous example, if you served 44 hours the week by January 19th, you would put 44 next to that date. So in other words, you're just totaling up all the hours that you've already served. This is more current than Encore because you can take into account those weeks that you've served that haven't been included in the next payroll yet. That's what step 3 is for, to help you be a little more accurate with that. And so then the next step is to plan out your future time by putting planned hours next to future dates. And as you do that, your future planning statistics will change in real time. This estimated hours per week needed will change as you go down and enter week by week how many hours you are expecting to serve. We have notes here just to help you along the way. Most spring breaks happen sometime in here. Here's Memorial Day and the 4th of July. And so you would literally just go down and type in the amount of hours that you are planning to serve each week up until your end date, whenever that would be. So this is a really helpful tool if you are planning on having a vacation at some point later in the year. You can factor that in and see how that's going to change your future statistics. So if your hours per week needed average is above 42, you should reach out to your trainer or supervisor to make some sort of a plan. And they may say, try the hours calculator and plan out the rest of your year and see what your hours per week needed will look like in that case. So right now, assuming that this individual has served 618 hours thus far, they are going to need about 42.38 hours per week, which is higher than the 40 hours per week needed threshold that we're looking for. And just to explain the color coding, we've color coded it green, yellow, and red. Green indicates if you're serving full-time. Yellow indicates if you're serving less than full-time and you need between 40 and 42 hours a week. And red is if you're serving significantly less time than needed, and that's where you would need over 42 hours a week. So in this example, let's see what would happen if, let's say in the next 2 weeks, I put in 10 extra hours each week because maybe there was a weekend event or an extra field trip or some after-school activities. Now see there, even 2 weeks worth of extra hours has already brought that out of red into the yellow. So now we need 41.75 hours per week. So we could continue this trend. Let's say we did 45 hours this week, 45 hours this week, and then maybe we put in a little more extra time on this next week. And as you can see, this keeps going down, down, down. Now this is at 41.05. And we keep going down. Sorry, you can't see it right now. I'll put in a few more hours. It's almost to green. So now it's green. So now we're at 39.83 hours per week needed. That is less than 40. Now this probably won't be realistic. We're not expecting you to do 20 hours extra per week every week, but you will need to plan out how to successfully reach the total number of hours you need. So this part is really up to you, and this will help you plan. You could throw some of these extra hours farther down here, especially when spring break comes around. So this is a way for you to really be intentional about where you're putting your extra hours and when. And as it says right here, a good rule of thumb to bring your average hours per week needed down is to serve more hours in a week than the average, which makes sense. So if you had an estimated 43.4 hours per week needed, you should try to serve at least 44 hours in the next week, if not more, if possible. So hopefully this will be a really helpful tool for you. And just looking back at this, it will show you how many weeks you have left unplanned after today. So this 618 accounts for all of the weeks up until here. And so then it's saying, I have these weeks planned out, but the rest of these weeks are unplanned. So it's just letting you know that. And then it'll tell you the estimated hours left to be served. So if you plan out the rest of your year until the end date that you have, this should reach 0. Now if you serve more hours than needed, it will become a negative number, which is great, but this needs to reach 0 by the end of your service. We also have this calculator reformatted for half-term members. We're currently looking at the full-term hours calculator. If you go to the next tab over here, this is a half-term hours calculator. Everything is laid out the same. It's the same format. It's just that we cut out the beginning of the year. So this calculator starts on January 5th. So you would do the same process and enter your numbers the same way. We also have an example on the next tab, just to show you another example of what it would look like. So you can see this person served 165 hours as of the September 30th payroll, and so they put it in September 25th because that is the closest previous date in the calendar. And you can also add planning notes here, which can also be helpful for you. And then they planned out these weeks, and they put notes in as they went through. They recognized the weeks where they worked less, and they wrote why. And then moving forward, they would plan out how to get those extra hours fit in here for the rest of their term of service. We really hope that this tool will help you successfully plan out the rest of your service term. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your supervisor or your trainer. Thanks, and have a good day.